Hello everyone, and welcome to TGB Toys channel. Today I'm here to unbox the newest Saint Seiya Mythcloth EX figure, Odin Seiya EX. This figure was continuously showcased at exhibitions before its official release, making it a highly anticipated work. First, let's look at the outer packaging. The front features an Odin silhouette paired with a full-body image of the figure. On the lower position, you can see the Japanese version uses the gold background with the blue cat sticker. This figure was produced in China. Here is a look at the top and bottom of the color box, as well as both sides. The back is, as usual, a collection of various official product images. Opening the outer box, the contents include 3 layers of blister trays and 1 instruction manual. Only the first blister tray has adhesive tape. The center holds the base body. On the sides are the limb parts, as well as replacement hand and hair sculpts. The second tray contains the remaining Godcloth parts and the Godcloth object frame. The final layer contains the replacement faceplates and the cape. The Godcloth parts primarily made of metal include a pair of shoulder pads. They are not separate pieces, but they are very beautiful. A pair of forearm guards. This figure does not have upper arm guards. A pair of thigh guards, knee guards, and shin guards. 1 chest armor piece and 1 waist armor, skirt piece. The front clasp of the waist armor is plastic. It is not easy to distinguish the top from the bottom. You need to look at the inner side of the clasp. The correct direction is when it forms an inverted triangle. After installation, you can see that the belt buckle is actually slightly crooked. The parts primarily made of plastic include 1 face mask and a pair of handguards, gauntlets. The Odin sword, Balmung sword. There is a large sprue mark at the hilt. 1 set of the Godcloth object frame. 1 cape, where the back clasp is metal. Regarding the face sculpts, there are a total of 4 expressions: the calm face, the shouting face, the gritting teeth face, the face when being attacked, battle damaged. Let's look at the performance of each face from different angles. It basically uses the established sculpting method since the final Pegasus EX. The level of accuracy is quite good. Especially from certain angles, it greatly enhances the dynamic feeling of the character. The expression when being attacked is a relatively unique one in this set and is less common. For the hand parts, we have a pair of closed fists, a pair of hands for gripping, a pair of hands for the Pegasus Ryusei Ken, Meteor Fist, a pair of hands for holding the sword, a pair of 5 finger-curled hands. What these hands are used for, I can't recall. After checking the anime, I found they are likely the hand sculpt used when Seiya is lying on the ground looking troubled. For the accessories, finally, let's look at the base body. This uses the 2nd generation Bronze Saint Seiya EX body. Let's test the tightness of the main joints. They are all quite tight. Handling the coverage of the Odin cloth should not be an issue. Okay, next, let's quickly assemble the human form. First, sequentially put on the thigh guards, knee guards, and shin guards. Secure them with the metal feet. Then, put on the skirt armor. For the upper body, first assemble the forearm guards and the hand part. Next is the chest armor. We will first demonstrate the configuration without the cape. Then we assemble the cape. It is largely the same. Next is the assembly of the shoulder pads. For the head, we switch to the front hairpiece for the mask and attach the mask. Finally, we attach the Balmung sword. The Odin Seiya EX human form is now complete. Thanks to the good tightness of the base body and the low godcloth coverage, the assembly process was relatively smooth. However, the frequently occurring problem in the mythcloth line was not avoided here. Besides the crooked belt buckle I just mentioned, the thigh guards, especially the right side, have a very poor fit and can barely snap into the intended position. The forearm and shin guards cannot be described as having a perfect fit, but they are better than the thigh guards. Additionally, attaching the hand parts is quite difficult. Since this problem often appears in many mythcloth figures, it makes me wonder, is the final model prototype itself problematic? Also, although I'm not too familiar with the setting details, the color of the Odin god cloth in the anime was almost a light white. It should be intended to show a reflective effect, or perhaps it was just a simplification for the animation. In any case, the mythcloth did not follow the color direction in the anime, but chose a design that is more biased towards a bright blue. Under regular lighting, the actual look is even bluer than what is printed on the official images or the box. To be honest, although this color is also quite eye-catching, it still feels a bit short of the Odin god cloth in my mind. Apart from complaining about the above issues, another regrettable point is the absence of Seiya's blind expression, which was very important in the anime's plot. After all, the expressions on the various Star-Lord EX figures released in recent years have been too similar and conventional. It is understandable that players hope to see more variety in face sculpts. Aside from the drawbacks, the advantage, as mentioned before, is the low coverage and the tight base body, which results in good posability. It is relatively comfortable to play with. Also, this figure has the highest proportion of metal, with everything except the mask being die-cast, so the hand feel is also good. Overall, the experience in human form passes the bar. Okay, next, let's assemble the object form. First, for the torso part, we need to install the chest armor and the belt, after removing the side skirt armor. Then, attach the mask to the head position. The shoulder pads are attached to the same position as the human form. Then, attach the knee guards and the two side skirt pieces to the base. Then the thigh guards and the hand armor is placed on the back. After that, the forearm and shin guards need to be attached. Note that in this position, all four limbs are tilted inward. Next, place the main trunk onto the base. Finally, insert the Balmung sword into the gap behind the head. The Odin Seiya EX Godcloth object form is now complete. The fit of the parts is much better here than in the human form. Moreover, the design is relatively simple, making the assembly process very easy and pleasant. As a child, I felt the Odin Godcloth was a very grand and high-class design, perhaps partly due to its Nordic style, which is significantly different from the Romanesque holy cloths of the sanctuary. The intuitive feeling at the time was very novel, and when I first watched the anime, I hadn't seen the armor of other gods, so it felt even more mysterious and high-end. In short, under the filter of childhood memory, I personally still like the Odin Godcloth, and I think its toy realization this time is also very successful. Finally, to summarize the experience of the Odin Seiya EX, I can hardly call it a surprising masterpiece. The expected high level of face sculpt and body shape accuracy was already anticipated. However, the issues with the fit of the human form armor parts and the slight inadequacy of accessories make one feel like the fun ended too quickly. All this makes one feel that this is just another assembly line product from Bandai that seeks not to be amazing, but just to avoid major errors. Of course, players who like this design will not be disappointed with the purchase. After all, based on the current sculpting ability of Saint Seiya Mythcloth, combined with the inherent coolness of the design, it is still a very eye-catching piece when displayed. It is particularly important as a key work in the God Warrior EX line. Putting aside the consideration of completing the God Warrior EX set, it also reproduces a very unique form of Seiya. For players who want to collect all the various forms of the protagonist, it can be said to be a no-brainer purchase. Okay, that's all for this episode's sharing. I hope it was helpful to you. If you like Mythcloth, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.